All right, come on, let's get this cracking.
Can you picture this? Baby, David, good looking, baby. CYP got another one. I see y'all. Yeah. Can you picture this? You know, rocking with CYPT. Podcast of the D with Clay and the crew. It's like my CTV. They be giving game out so much, you could take the same route. Especially if you take risks, this YouTube, you make sense.
What up, though? What up, though? You are tuned in to the CYPT podcast, the podcast of the strongest, fastest, most powerful print shop on the Eastern Seaboard. I am Just Niles.
It's your boy Lance.
And I'm Clay, better known as Fearless.
This program is being brought to you by With the Wash and Fine Fragrance Detergent, made to keep your custom garments lasting longer and smelling fresher. Today, we are talking about material matters, and it does in the print game, custom apparel game. What are some of the most popular materials that you...
Most common materials that we use is like cotton polyester blends, and polyester by itself. Those are the most common
when it comes to custom apparel?
Yeah.
Okay.
What we typically use on a day-to-day basis, and what most customers may bring in, although they do bring in some strange combinations sometimes.
Let's start with the cotton. Now, there are different levels to cotton, which I didn't even know till I started working here. So there's a base of cotton. There's ring spun
cotton. It's higher end cotton.
Is there anything above that? What's Egyptian?
Oh man, yeah, it's all kind of cottons. What we got above just a regular carded cotton. So ask one of our cotton experts over here.
What, our cotton experts over here?
Yeah.
He's
what we got that's higher than like a ring spun cotton? Is it like a pigma cotton? Is it an Egyptian cotton? Like what do you come up with?
There's a basic cotton, right? So that's where we normally start the shirts off at.
Yeah, like a carded cotton.
A carded cotton.
Yeah,
that's what it's called.
Yeah.
Okay. And now what all can we use a cotton for? So there's the soak-ins. There's the screen printing.
Screen printing, like a regular heat transfer, we use cotton for. Cotton is you can't sublimate on cotton, but although they do have different ways that you can like put sprays and stuff on cotton to make it so that you can sublimate on it. But I don't know why you would want to do that when you can just sublimate on polyester.
A spray?
Yeah, they got all kind of like different ways that they try to do different things on different materials. I like to just stick with what works for that particular material that is definitely used for.
How much trial and error have you had when it comes to like trying different?
I haven't even tried the spray because I didn't feel like there was a need for it.
So they spray the shirt,
so you spray the shirt to be able to use. I guess it's a polymer or something coating that you put on the cotton to make the sublimation adhere to the cotton. I don't think it's a need for it for me.
I don't mean to jump ahead, but I thought DASA just washes right off of cotton.
Well, that's why you put this spray on it. I briefly read up on it, but I was like, I don't even want to try that. What? There's no need for it for me.
Did you find a different? You got the different types of cotton?
So just like you're saying, Egyptian cotton that is actually grown in Egypt is known for its softness and strength and ability to absorb the dyes. You got combed cotton. You also have Pima cotton and Pima cotton, which is probably the best, and that's trademarked in America.
It's trademarked. How do you feel the difference? Can you tangibly feel it?
You can feel the difference when you put a shirt in your hand. You can feel the softness of it.
Are some of them more breathable than others?
More breathable. Yeah, some of them are really lightweight. So people have different preferences when it comes to t-shirts. Some people like a really lightweighted t-shirt that feels real good on the body. It's soft. Others like a heavy cotton, really high, like a GSM shirt that's really, really heavy.
like for winter time.
Yeah, even in the summertime, you got guys that just want just like that heavy, heavy shirt.
Them what was them shirts? Some of the Greystone shirts be real super heavy, and they real close up on the collar and things like that.
Yeah.
But some people ask for that.
Yeah, like the City Labs.
Like the City Labs are. The City Labs are strong.
Yeah, it's one of the stronger T-shirts that we carry here. It's one of our most, like, for a premium line, one of our most requested. Do you got City Lab? Yeah.
That's how I know somebody is really trying to do like a high end thing when they come in and they request the premium T-shirts that we have with the higher cotton value. Mm-hmm. Do you only? I know you can. I know we have different levels to cotton, but can you take basic? What did you call it? Card cotton?
Yeah, I call it a carded cotton.
A carded cotton, yeah. and turn it into something miraculous, or do you want to start? Is it can you start off with the basic and make it a premium, or is it premium in, premium out?
You can definitely make a regular, let's say, carded cotton or regular subpar T-shirt look amazing. It's just about what you put on it. You can layer vinyl, mix it in with like direct to garment and maybe transfer. So it's a lot of things you can like mix together to make a shirt look amazing. No, but I wouldn't suggest that. I would like go with a higher end shirt.
You would say go with the higher end if you're doing a higher end,
because it's like you're gonna spend a couple of bucks more on a shirt and you're trying to go high end. Just
does it affect the image?
Of course, yeah. So with methods like direct to garment, you really want to use a high end ring spun cotton shirt. And when they say like ring spun, the cotton, the fibers, like if you look really close on a T-shirt, it's like you're gonna see little lines going down it. The tighter they are,
if you what?
Like if you look really close, see these lines is going down this hoodie?
No, but you've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah. So the tighter they are, the closer together they are, the better that the print will be on if you're doing like
that. But does that affect the breathability, the tightness of them, or is a good T-shirt always breathable?
I would say a good T-shirt is pretty much always breathable. I mean, it's not like you can't breathe. And if it's cotton, cotton is cotton. And a polyester shirt, it's like a dry fit shirt. You probably see people using them in the gym and things like that. So when you sweat, it really absorbs really fast. We get a lot of requests for like the dry fit style, and that's like 100% like polyester. We supplement on that.
Well, okay. Let's now back to the cotton. We're about to get to polyester and the other clothing materials. A lot of our images and shirts and apparel are made with heat.
Yes.
So
how like 90% of what we do is almost 100%. Yeah, I would say 90%.
I say 90. No, not 100. It's 90%.
About 90%.
I say 95.
You apply graphics. But the reason why I like doing that is because it's really fast. The type of customer that we have, they really want it quick. And
they wanted it yesterday.
Yeah, heat applied imaging really serves us well for what we do and our type of customer.
How much heat can cotton? Can you burn it? Like
the average heat for cotton is probably anywhere between depends on what you're putting on it. Like anywhere.
I'm throwing a screen print out here. I'm just putting the iron on. How long do I need to pop this off?
With a regular with the heat transfer, you be looking in the area of between 350, 379, somewhere around there, off in there.
Temperature wise?
Yeah, but you have different vinyls that require like different temperatures. So it's very important that you read the instructions for that particular vinyl. A metallic vinyl may require a lower heating.
I was gonna say, let's jump off from the vinyls for a hot second. Now, sure. I know we use the premium vinyl here. I have seen other vinyl places, and then it doesn't.
There's levels to vinyl. You have like your cheaper vinyls, and then
what makes our vinyl, premium vinyl? What is the difference between regular vinyl and vinyl that is built to last?
Some vinyls, well, when you say like premium vinyl, some vinyls are just like easily to weed, and weeding, takes a while. So,
Right.
Weeding the vinyl, the stickiness on the carrier is better on some vinyls. The thickness is better on some vinyls. The durability, longevity of the vinyl itself.
Not, I know you told me the vinyl will the sometimes the shirt will deteriorate before the vinyl will that we have here.
Sometimes, like I had roofers and stuff. Their shirts all sun worn and tore up holes in it, and that vinyl looks just like it did the day it was put on. And usually vinyl goes on a cotton shirt, like you were saying. We would use like 100% cotton.
I've never seen our vinyl fade or dull or anything like that. It's normally pretty on there.
You really have to know what vinyl to use on particular shirts, because there's some vinyls that you can't use. You have to use a special kind of vinyl, like say like if it was on like a polyester shirt.
Okay.
You get like some dye migration would actually come up through the vinyl.
Oh, I hate it when that happens, man.
The vinyl would discolorate.
Does that happen? Is that with the shirt? Is that the shirt or is that?
So the actual dye that's in the vinyl will the actual dye that's in the garment will permeate through the vinyl, and it would discolorate the garment. When I first started doing shirts,
is that orange thing? Is that how that orange vinyl happened?
Yeah. It was a green vinyl. I did a suit jacket for a young lady, and she wanted some highlighter vinyl on a polyester. It was a polyester blended suit coat, and it was like one of the first times that I've done anything like that. Put like this highlighter vinyl on a suit jacket that was made out of polyester. And before she even got to where she was going,
they wanted that?
They wanted that. I mean, we get requests. We do what they want to do. I don't know.
They wanted that?
They wanted that. So anyway, so like she didn't even wash the jacket or anything, and she was like, she got
out the dough.
My jacket is ruined. I was like, well, what happens? I said, just bring it in. Let me take a look at it.
What I do that for?
What? And I couldn't believe that. Like she didn't even wash it or anything.
She didn't do anything.
She said, I didn't wash it. I didn't do nothing.
Did it look like she did anything?
It looked like she had to. It looked like she had to. It's like there's no way
that it just
to do this within like a 24 to 48 hours.
You had to go bungee jumping.
Yeah, you really had to do I'm like, no, there's no way. So upon my research, I said, no problem. We'll fix it for you. So I did the same thing.
Okay.
And gave it back to her. This is without me researching. I did the same thing. I gave it back to her. And at this particular time, she didn't come pick up the jackets for a couple of days. And before, I was about to call her to tell her to come pick, her order was ready or whatnot. And the exact same thing happened. So I know.
Again?
Yeah, exact same thing happened. Because I'm thinking that, oh, she must have washed it. I'm just going to fix it for her anyway. She must have did something crazy. But it was the particular vinyl. So that vinyl did not mix well with that polyester. So there's certain instances you have to have the correct vinyl material to go with the correct shirt
apparel material.
So if it's polyester, there might be a special vinyl that you use for polyester.
Now, how many different type of vinyls do we carry here? We have everything from glitter
we got puff, you got glitter, you got metallic, you got reflective felt. I mean, it's a lot of vinyls. Glow in the dark.
That glow in the dark one is crazy.
Carbon fiber.
Snake print,
printable vinyl,
cheetah print,
so it's
iridescent.
Iridescent. They got some crazy. They come out with some crazy vinyls. And
let's talk about the heat when it goes to the vinyl suit. How How much heat can this thing take?
Like I say, vinyls, they have different heat requirements for the vinyl. So
Okay.
you want to make sure you put the proper heat with whatever the manufacturer suggests.
You ever melted some?
Yeah, you're gonna melt, and the vinyl is not gonna have its original what it's supposed to look like. It may go on the shirt, but it may have a certain shine that it's supposed to shine like, and you put too much heat on it, it's gonna dull it down.
Gone.
Yeah, so you want to be careful. You want to really make sure that you're using the right temperature with the right vinyl, and that's why it's good to have maybe more than one heat press. Because if you're going like on a fast pace and your heat press is set to 379, you might have to wait 10 minutes for it to go down to the required temperature for a certain type of vinyl. So you got to be careful with that. And sometimes you can like trick the heat press, but you really got to be really experienced with that. Sometimes I might just put like a t-shirt over the vinyl,
right,
and over like the Teflon sheet to kind of lower the temperature. And I've done it so many times I can kind of like gauge.
I was about to ask, can you flash fry vinyl?
Yeah,
like, you can.
You can flash fry vinyl. You can put you got your vinyl set for like polyester, which is 400 degrees,
right? And
then you try to print some metallic vinyl and just try to like hit it. And sometimes, you be in the world of trouble. It won't work. You'll be melted the vinyl. So you got to be careful and really, like I'd say, really try to stick with those parameters of the heat settings that the manufacturer is giving you.
And what's the difference between cold peel and hot peel?
So a cold peel vinyl, you have to let the vinyl cool all the way before you peel it off of the shirt itself. So, and then warm peel, of course, is the opposite. You can peel it off while it's still warm.
How can you tell
hot,
which is which?
Not hot, but warm. The manufacturer will tell you on the instructions whether
but
it's
who
a cold
reads instructions, Clay? How do I know?
Well, you're gonna know because if you peel it up and it's a cold peel, it's gonna come right off. So that's how you're gonna know that it must be a cold peel vinyl. Sometimes you're like struggling with like why isn't it peeling up? When I peel it up, it's coming up. That's because you're supposed to let it completely cool to the touch. And like you can do a lot of little tricks or something. Like I may have turn on a fan to like speed up the process. I have a fan nearby me. I'll just wave it over the fan, or either you can take like I've seen some people use a cold wet rag or something like that to go on top of the shirt, because the vinyl is on top of a plastic carrier, so you can just rub it across there to kind of speed up the process.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the apparel. We were talking about there was cotton, and then we said there was polyester.
Polyester.
Then what was before polyester?
And then we had cotton polyester blends.
Okay. Is there ever a good reason to have a cotton polyester blend? What does that work best with?
Well, that's probably.
Or do you only want to be one of the other?
You probably want to, in the type of printing that you do, you probably want to be with one or the other. So unless it's with the new DTF, it's more forgiving what you're using. So you can have like different kind of mixtures of shirts and get away with a lot of what you couldn't get away with if you were trying to do direct to garment. Because if you were doing direct to garment, you would want 100% cotton shirt, and you would want a ring spun cotton shirt because that print is going to come out better on a ring spun cotton shirt. Although you can get decent results with a regular cotton shirt, you really want to have a high-end cotton shirt when you're doing DTG.
What happens with this mix with this mix blend with DTG?
If you mix blend, depending on how much other material is in the mixture, say like if you had 70% cotton and then you had 30% polyester.
Okay.
Just know that your print is going to be diminished about 30%.
Are we talking vibrancy?
The vibrancy and, the color. And what's happening is when you're doing direct to garment, you have to lay down what you call a pre-treat.
Okay.
And a pre-treat,
Now, this may sound stupid, but are there levels to pre-treat, or is pre-treat pre-treat?
There are.
There are levels to pre-treat.
There are different levels to pre-treat. You have pre-treat that you can pre-treat polyester with, that you can pre-treat cotton with. There are different kinds of pre-treat.
Okay.
So the pre-treat that we like to use here is made for specifically, because you don't want to just have like so many different kinds of pre-treat. So we just narrow it down to the ones that we use the most.
Okay. Is the difference for a direct-to-garment and direct-to-fabric?
Direct-to-film. So
Direct-to-film.
Direct-to-film is the DTF. The direct-to-garment is DTG is direct-to-garment.
So an 100% cotton shirt will make sure that the vibrancy is intact.
So remember those lines, that are the tightness of those lines that I was talking about.
The difference between the cotton and the ring spun cotton.
Right. So what the pre-treat does is it puts a layer of like a wall, say like a wall up, so the ink won't go directly down into the through the shirt,
through it.
And when you got those tighter lines in there, it creates such like a barrier where the ink won't go down through the t-shirt, which will cause dullness. So with the ring spun cotton, it's a tighter knit, so it allows the print to stay on top of the shirt more so than go all the way down through it. Now you do want the print to go through the shirt, like in the middle area of the shirt. You don't want it to go all the way through. You don't want it to just lay on top of the shirt neither, because
you want that effect.
No, it's as far as like the washability. You still want the ink to go through the shirt, but not all the way through. You get what I'm saying? If it goes all the way through, it's going to dull it. And if it goes like where it's supposed to go, it's going to go right in between the shirt, where you got some like in between that really micro layer and the top.
Do I have to use more of this pre-treat for certain materials?
Now, certain materials,
or do I just one layer and then I'm good to go?
So you can do direct to garment on polyester, but I don't recommend it.
Because what happens?
Well, you're not going to get the vibrancy. Remember where I was talking about the ink going through?
We didn't get to polyester yet. We were still in the mixture. So let's jump to polyester.
Okay, so we jump to polyester, and we're doing polyester with direct to garment.
Okay.
So direct to garment, remember, is the best t-shirt to use for direct to garment would be 100%
ring spun cotton.
Although you might have like a shirt or something that you saw and that you just had to have it, like it was it
got 10 zippers on it, man. I gotta have this shirt.
But you need a flat surface, really, when you're trying to do like
can we talk about the importance of that really quickly? When you get these shirts with these or any of the garments to have all these ridges and things like that, or the little stretchy stuff in the back or whatever, you're saying it's important to have that flat surface.
It's important to
it's important to have that flat surface.
To have a flat surface when you're doing when you're printing on a garment,
because those ridges, that I don't know, you can't even really put too much on those, can you?
The pleats.
Yeah, pleats and things like that. It's certain. Yeah. So it's very important to look at when you're taking an order and trying to figure out what method of print. It's very important to look at the garment and kind of like perceive what you have to do in order to get this print on a shirt.
Before we jump into the DTG, how can you tell how much heat a garment can take? Because certain garments are different materials. We talked about cotton in the mix poly and the polyester.
So
but then there's other stuff. So with
with polyester, the requirement is 400 degrees for sublimation.
Okay.
And like I said,
how do we know that?
Because it's with the polyester and sublimation, it's actually the heat transfer turns into a gas.
Right.
And that gas releases at the proper temperature at 400 degrees. So that for most of your polyester shirts, that's the temperature that you want to use.
And that's not just the polyester shirts. That's anything dye sublimation, right?
Well, most things for dye sublimation is 400 degrees, but they are variances in certain materials for like mugs and different things. So they are variances in the temperature for dye sublimation.
What material do you want to stay away from when it comes to apparel? When in custom making apparel,
So there are materials that like
suck.
Yeah, like nylon or something like that, and that'll burn up. Now, there are certain nylons that you can use. If it says nylon, doesn't mean that you can't
Okay.
use that particular material. So what I would suggest you do is kind of like if it says nylon, you might want to test it because like women's like pantyhose was made out of nylon.
Okay.
Right. So just think if someone had brought in a pair of nylon pantyhose and for some strange reason they wanted to put a picture on it.
We've seen Stranger.
Yeah, we've seen Strangers. So
We've seen
maybe it's
Stranger.
a pair of children's tights. It's made out of 100% nylon.
Right.
And you say, I've done things on nylon before and it works. So just because you see nylon, you say, okay, I've done nylon before.
And I know what I'm doing.
I did a nylon jacket 2 days ago. It worked perfect.
So you pop off
So
these
you
tights.
see, I see nylon. The jacket that I did yesterday was nylon. So yeah, we can do it.
Right.
And you take those nylon pantyhose, stockings or whatever, and you get your picture ready and you got the press at 379 degrees and she's ready to go to this birthday party.
Yep.
And
It goes up in flames.
Last pair, and you hit that heat press and pull it up, move the heat press to the side, and it's like a magician took your. Wait, I know I put it down. Where is it?
It's gone.
Where is it?
Stuck to the roof.
It's stuck to the
Stuck
top
to the roof
of the
Heat press.
heat press. It's been a time where my heat press was broken, so the calibration was off on it. And
Right.
I was doing all over shirts, and we were actually melting the polyester shirt. So if it went
polyester takes
so
really
it
good.
had that heat press had
Like
to
600 degrees.
Went to like 600 degrees because it was like frying them like eggs. Yeah, so
If you leave it on for longer though,
it wasn't. You remember that flash fry you were
the
talking
flash
about?
fry. Yeah.
So I was like trying to get an order out. So I'm just like, okay, I know the press is like too hot, and there's no way.
So you figured
there's no way for me to turn it down. So I'm trying to say, well, I can turn it off and kind of like gauge to see where the temperature is at. And then some of the shirts were coming out light, and I was trying to flash fry them. So it was a disaster. So what I had to do after I figured out that the heat press was like too hot, I got it fixed or whatever. But it's a barometer that you can use to kind of test your heat platen.
Okay.
Because sometimes your heat platen is out of whack. It may be heating on, especially some of those cheaper Chinese $200-300 presses that you might
The ones you can order from no, we can't say that.
It starts with it has a Z in it.
It rhymes with Blamazon.
Yeah. So so you got to be careful with some of those lower end heat presses. Because that's in another podcast. We're gonna talk about the different heat presses and what you can do.
Now, which material between the two that we were talking about it is the most durable? We were talking about, at least with apparel, we were talking about cotton, the mixed blend.
So it really depends. When you say durable, it really depends on the application that you're putting on the shirt. Like I say, there was like some of the roofers with the vinyl. You put this vinyl on there, it lasts a very, very long time.
Okay.
And then there are some occasions where I've seen a other companies use a transfer on a t-shirt. Now, transfer, although we try to use the best transfer available in the transfer field, you know. So our transfers will hold up a lot longer than some other companies. So we've done like through trial and error, getting the best heat transfer for our lower end shirts.
Right.
So with those, they don't hold up.
But you know what? But some of them can take a hit.
Yeah,
Some of them can take a hit.
Yeah, we have some heat transfers that can take, especially.
I've had some shirts that still.
Yeah, I've had like when I was doing shirts back like in 99, and people were like, man, I still got my shirt, and all we were doing back there then.
Every time they say that, that's incredible to me.
Transfers. So, with that being said, it's not the most durable, but it will do the job. The next thing up would be like the direct garments and the DTF shirts. Now they have longer washability with the direct garment and the directive film. So what the directive film is, for you guys out there that don't know what it is when we print on film and then apply the film to the shirt. So it's
is there different levels to the film?
Well, you have hot peel film and you have cold peel.
Oh, no way.
Oh yeah. You got.
What's the difference? Like, for what? Why would you ever?
Like, why would they do that?
Yeah.
So different companies will come out with these different formulations to kind of speed up your process, and you're going to pay more for the speed.
Right.
So if it's a hot peel,
you pay more for speed.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, time is everything. Like that's one of my
everything.
Things. So we just now, I told last week we just moved to the hot peel, so I need those seconds count. So we're gonna be doing.
We didn't have the hot peel at first.
So
we
now,
did have to wait for the cool.
Now we have the hot peel, so we can.
Have you noticed the difference?
Yeah.
Any vibrancy? Any?
It's about the same.
Did we lose anything?
It's about the same vibrancy and everything. We just speed up the process a little faster.
Okay. How durable is dye sublimation? The polyester shirts.
Now, dye sublimation is very, very, very durable. The only drawback with the dye sublimation is you can only do dye sublimation on light color garments or white garments. So
why is that?
Because there's no white ink in dye sublimation. So it won't work on a black shirt because you're never going to get white ink.
There's no ink? There's no white
There's no white ink. So when we're doing dye sublimation and you see like white in a shirt, we're using the whiteness of the shirt. You know what I'm saying? So anywhere, say like if it was somebody's eyes, the
white part?
The white part of their eyes.
Right.
That's the part of the shirt that there's just no ink on. So the white shirt would be the white eyes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if that shirt was pink, the eye color would be pink. The teeth would be pink. So if you had a person smiling.
Oh, that's weird.
So it takes on the color of the shirt.
So
sometimes
you really
you get some. You get some. Sometimes you get some.
So you want to use really dark colors when if you're. Let's say you're not doing polyester.
Mm-hmm.
If you're trying to like dye, you could dye some cotton, right?
No,
you can't at all.
No, they do have workarounds again for dye sublimate.
Not even the ring spun. That like just period, it won't work.
You were saying like we had to spray. You had to spray first.
Yeah, they got sprays and different things. You can do like a transfer where you would dye sublimate on a transfer and maybe contour cut it to go on like a polyester shirt. So yeah. So you would dye sublimate on a transfer,
right? That's a whole extra step, though.
Yeah, so like I say, I like to use what.
That's not fast.
Yeah. So if it's not really fast, then if I got to put another step to it,
And you said polyester is polyester. There's no better polyester because it's like there's better cotton.
No, they do. They have levels.
There is levels to the polyester too.
It's a level to everything. It's a level to everything. So you have polyesters that's.
How can you tell the different premium?
You can feel it. You can feel it. If I put a bold polyester shirt in your hand and a premium polyester shirt in your hand, and I'm gonna say which shirt you want, you gonna say
you can guarantee I'm gonna pick the right one.
You're gonna pick the right one.
Are they more breathable?
Maybe be more breathable, more thicker, more have the texture, sheen, all of that.
It did with the polyester shirts. All of it is
with basically
Does it produce better vibrancy?
The vibrancy. Yeah, you got some polyesters that feel like that really silky material.
And then there's the other one that kind of feels like cotton, right?
Feels like cotton. So
which one is the one you want?
So it's preference. So
you're right.
Myself, I don't like the really shiny material.
So you don't like the poly? No,
I like the cotton, the cotton feel.
You don't like that silk,
but the customer, I can't go with what I like. You know, the customer likes that silky shiny feel. But before, like let's say about 5 years ago,
right?
They wanted the polyester shirts that felt like cotton, but they were still 100% polyester. They just felt like cotton. So the structure of the polyester shirt, the way they built it and made it, it felt like cotton, but it was 100% polyester.
Now, let's move away from apparel for a second, talk about materials and other things. What else? I guess we'll stick with dye sub because we dye sub a lot more items, I would say, than other things.
Mm-hmm.
Dog tags, keychains, all that. What material is that?
So it's a polymer.
It's a
polymer material. If it has that poly in it, you probably 9 times out of 10
can dye
sub on it. I've tested things and it was like, look, it worked. You know, I'm always pushing the button. So it has some kind of polyester in it, polymer in it,
and they have different grades of those too. Because I do remember we had ordered some mugs one time, and these mugs just weren't popping as much as the mugs we had ordered before.
Right. So different companies come up with different ways they make their mugs.
High ends and
low ends. You can get like some cheap Chinese mugs. The picture might come out a little blurry.
And you notice it immediately.
Yeah, and like when you're ordering these mugs, you're like, well, why is this mug like $1
million cheaper?
Yeah, like I'm just gonna get these mugs. It's a difference.
It's a reason.
It's a reason. So here, what I like to do is I will test it and see what's the difference, because sometimes you might win. But when I find that mug that's that best mug,
the one that works,
I'll get the best mug that works, the high end mug, and then I won't get the cheapest mug, but I will try and get like a mediocre mug where it still looks good. Mm-hmm. That way we can like charge a less.
So you can always have a premium and an economy,
an economy. But make sure your economy is good enough to pass the test.
It's still good. Still decent material.
Yeah, still good material.
Still not decent.
My low end is comparable to like other companies' high.
The low end is fire, but and our premium is premium for a reason.
Our premium is premium for a reason.
Is that only with mugs?
That's with everything across the board.
We're talking anything with the poly in it is.
Oh, are you talking about sublimation? Yeah. So basically, it has some polyester in it. Although you can sublimate on nylons and stuff like that, but I'm not really familiar with the moleculars
of how to tell what's
in it, but I'm pretty sure we got an expert over here. What's in nylon?
Or what makes premium nylon? I guess.
It's polyester in nylon because we can sublimate on nylon, but like I'm not the scientist to know what's in it. So it's certain things that you can sublimate on.
Now let me know when you get that. I'm gonna talk about the last one we're probably gonna talk about is we talked about apparel and we talked about different items that you can use here. I want to talk about paper. Paper's a big thing.
Paper. What kind of paper? Print paper?
Well, I have seen.
We got.
I've seen. What do we use? Our transfer. I've seen really good transfer, and then I've seen not so good transfer.
Yeah.
How? But is there a way I could tell the difference before it comes out? And not impress this on 100 shirts. How do I know? Because you could tell. You could tell the
well, we're gonna stick with like one. The only reason why we would switch our transfer paper is like the company just didn't have any more. So I like to.
You've already scouted out.
Yeah, I've scouted out. I've did the homework for most of the transfer papers. So and I've used the one that works best for me. But things evolve and there may be another transfer paper out, but transfer is pretty much like an older technology. You do have transfer papers that you can actually laser transfer paper and inkjet transfer paper where you marry in the two papers together to get a look like a direct garment or a direct to film. So it's been out for a long time. You can actually we used to do mugs with the laser transfer paper. So there's certain kind of papers that you can use, but you really have to be dead on the money as far as like your temperature and pressure and all that type of stuff. So
it's easy to mess up.
It's very easy to mess up with those type of papers and things like that. But when like the direct garments came out, it was a game changer. And now that the direct film is out, it's even more of a game changer. And there's certain times where you want to do a direct garment and certain times that you want a direct film. With us, we're fortunate enough to have both of those technologies where if we wanted to like direct a garment is for like really fine details. Like if I wanted to show the hair on a subject's t-shirt,
you would direct a garment
is going
as opposed to
direct to film. Yep.
So you're saying you would not only do different materials, do different things. You use different materials for different goals, different purposes.
Exactly. So, depending on the substrate that you have, you want to match that up with the printing process, if you will. So a lot of times we'll get a customer to call and they say, well, like, how much is a t-shirt?
Well, that depends on how you want this done.
It depends on how you want it done. It's so many different ways that we can do a t-shirt, and especially when you're bringing in your own garment.
That's what I like to tell them. When you bring in your garment, that lets us know what we have to do.
We want to know what's in the garment. If it's cotton and viscose,
because I can tell you it costs this much, but this is how much it costs for this process.
We want to look at.
But you brought in,
so we definitely want to look at the garment. Examine the garment, and if it's something that we haven't used, what we'll do is warn the customer, like, hey, you want to be straight up with them.
Right.
This is your garment. I don't know what it is.
I don't know where it came from.
There may be a possibility that something could happen, especially when you're using heat. There's been instances where someone has brought in several shirts that they may have gotten from a warehouse that's been has moisture in that warehouse. So
and they thinking these are premium shirts.
And maybe they may be a premium shirt,
but because of how they were stored.
But because how they were stored will transfer to that heating process. And if you got moisture in the shirt, it's like water in a shirt. You ever?
But that
you
can
ever
happen not
iron?
just with shirts though. That can happen with the paper too, can it?
Yeah, you can have moisture and paper because the way it's stored. If you read the instructions on the shirt, on the paper packaging, it's going to say store in a cool yet dry place. You don't want it in a humid place because you're going to have problems.
Yeah, they say that same thing about other stuff. Did you?
Yeah, I got some information about polyester and nylon. So polyester and nylon are typically coated with a polymer layer, which is basically, it could be plastic or paper, and they do that during the manufacturing process or when they're making the shirts. So when you put the dye sub onto the paper, the heat is actually opening up the pores of the shirt and allowing that gas from that paper, the ink from that paper, turn into a gas to go straight to that shirt, and then as it cools down, the pores close up, and then it locks in that color.
There you go.
It's like a shirt tattoo, kinda.
Yeah.
So it literally turns into a gas.
Ink turns into a gas from the paper, goes onto the shirt, into the pores of the shirt, and then you take it from the heat press. It cools down, and it stays in there forever. It's never going to rip, fade, or tear like heat transfer.
Yeah. So with the polyester shirts, you're going to get the most wear out of them. That's what you were asking earlier. Like, what is the most durable shirt that we carry here? And that will probably be the sublimated polyester shirt. You can wash that shirt. When we have on our sign, it's unlimited washes. So you really get more bang for your buck. And especially if you want it smelling good and lasting long, what you want to do is get you a bottle of that whiff washed in fine fragrance. Every time you're going to be smelling good, looking good, shirt gonna
Perfect
be
with your
vibrant.
all over supplemented polyester shirt.
You need that. Although you can wash it and Dawn dish detergent, it's still going to look the same. That's how strong that polyester shirt is. But with other methods, you probably want to use whiff.
So I think the big thing is we need to take away from this podcast when it comes to material matters is different materials yield different results. You use different materials and different processes for different things. And I didn't even pick this up until you had said something, but not only are your materials important, but storing your materials properly
is very important.
Because you can have all the premium stuff, but if you put it in this basement that may have some water damage in it, you've ruined your premium.
So another thing you want to do, especially when it's a customer's garment, is you want to test that garment if you don't know what it is.
How do you do that?
You can usually, like, if you're going to heat it it's at a certain temperature, you want to like heat their garment in a really inconspicuous spot to kind of test to see if,
just in case it catches a blaze,
it'll burn, melt, and you can just kind of like check it, put it up against the heat press, take it down. Oh yeah. Yeah, it was. It lasted 10 seconds. It didn't melt. Let's go a little longer. Try 20.
It's like
30. And if you see it browning, yellowing, or something like that under the collar, you just take their shirt.
That's how you know.
And then that's how you know. So the next time you get one of those garments that say it's mixed with, I don't know, I can't even pronounce this.
This isn't even in English.
I don't know what it is.
Would you say always test the material?
Always test it. Always test, because certain things it might not show up on. Might not show up, might burn. You had asked a very valiant question when you asked me about hemp.
Mm-hmm.
Can we print on hemp?
Mm-hmm.
So if something like that, I would go to my go-to, which is the direct-to-film process. So if I did get a garment that was something different, I would go with that process as opposed to trying to sublimated, or
Is that because it's more versatile?
it's the direct to film is more versatile. You can put that on a lot of different things.
You know what? I don't know if you remember, but we were. We'll probably set it up for this. But you remember we were first making the shirts a while ago, and they were made from hemp. They were 100% hemp shirts, and I hadn't seen anything like that when they were doing those. Was it the green collar shirts or something like that? But anyways, they were probably using direct. I was wondering how they were doing it.
I mean, it's very possible that they could use any sort of printing method. They could have been screen printed, but most of the methods that we use here will be a heat applied method because of the fast turnaround. With the screen print, you don't want to screen print like one shirt, so you don't do that. So, but although it could work hemp, you could probably screen print on hemp.
Yep, screen print, DTG, and dye sub.
But
stop. You could dye sub hemp.
You can also dye sub hemp, but like he's saying, you want to check with the manufacturer, like he's been trying to emphasize this entire podcast. But no matter what you're doing, no matter what material you're using, check back with the manufacturer, look at your user guide, and see what they are suggesting you to do. Because just because it's vinyl doesn't mean it's always going to be the same temperature. Just because it's dye sub doesn't mean it's always going to be the same temperature. So always try to go back or look up online the best way to do it according to what the manufacturer is saying.
Yeah, you can get a result on a certain material. Like I can take a cotton shirt and take some dye sublimation paper, and it had a little bit of polyester in it, and I press it, and I say, "Oh, look, I got an image."
Mad sciences.
I got an image. It came up. But when you go to wash it or something like that,
or sneeze,
it might not hold up in the washing machine. So whatever the manufacturers state, that's what you want to go with. Yeah. So remember, sublimation, polyester, DTG, 100% ring spun cotton is for the best. DTF is very versatile and forgiving. You can use it on a lot of different substrates.
Make sure that you're storing your materials properly, because if not, you can have premium material and you can definitely downgrade it. And you were saying just make sure that you check with the manufacturer.
Definitely check with the manufacturer. Check your user guide. Check the paper that it came with. They usually deliver it to you. The items that you order with a guide on how to do it. And sometimes when we print out stuff for people here, we give them a little pamphlet on how to use the heat transfer, how to press it properly, things like that. So if you're not even able to get your user guide online, or you can't find it, you can always watch our YouTube videos and our podcast for tips.
And you're saying use it, read the terms and agreement before I download this app.
Yep.
Okay. All right. I think that will about cover it for the material matters one. Boogie Q, take us away.
You have just listened to the Can You Picture This podcast, the podcast for the strongest, fastest, most powerful print shop on this side of the Eastern Seaboard. You can catch us in the heart of Detroit, Greenfield and Grand River, Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Our address is 14223 Greenfield Road, Detroit, Michigan, 48227. Our phone number is 313-273-5000. Peace.
You are listening to CYPT Podcast. You are listening to CYPT Podcast. You are listening to CYPT Podcast. CYPT Podcast. CYPT Podcast. You are listening to CYPT.